Hype time! We're going to talk about the character kit reveal for Ghost Spider, better known as Spider Gwen. That happened over on Arnold's channel. They're changing the name, I guess. Or maybe it always was Ghost Spider, but I always knew her as Spider Gwen. But they're going to be calling her Ghost Spider from now on. That kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened with Black Dwarf. Now is being called Call Obsidian. And I just know him as Call Obsidian. So we're going to just Ghost Spider. Probably going to accidentally call her Spider Gwen a couple times in this video. Also, I just wanted to disclose, I have never received any compensation from Fox Next, Boundless, Scopely, Marvel Strike Force, anything like that. So that video up there on Arnold's channels was sponsored, but I was there for free. And I just prefer to keep it that way. I was offered compensation. I turned it down. Because I like to give my opinions on things. Now, my opinion on this right now is very simple. It's incomplete information. We don't have the full kits. We don't have the other two characters. And I'm going to guess that there's two more characters coming. And so my experience playing this, and I did get to actually play it on an iPad, was that it was not a complete team. It's very much going to be a bio raid team with Ghost Spider, Miles, and Spider-Man, and they're going to get reworks, mild reworks, touch-ups, if you will, on Spider-Man and Miles Morales. But how the kits are in the other two is really going to determine whether they're good or not, and I have no idea what that is, but I'm guessing that we're going to get a total of 3 Web Warriors in this next patch. So let's go over the kit quickly. We're going to go over Ghost Spider first. Yes, it's going to be a bio raid team. Hero, City, Bio, Spider-Verse, Web Warrior, Controller for sure. Her passive mentions Web Warriors and being on a team with 4 or more. And it says, and this only happens in raids, generate 2 ability energy for 5 random Web Warrior allies or self that were not full energy. And to me, that implies that there's going to be at least 1 more Web Warrior coming to make this passive work. They get extra damage in raids, and on spawn they apply speed up and evade to self and all Web Warrior allies. And that evasion to all Web Warrior allies is kind of important, because then Spider-Man's passive will now proc on all Web Warriors, and they'll get that 10% turn meter whenever they evade. So this team is going to be evading and going quickly, applying stuns and slows. It's kind of great. She gains dodge and damage. When an ally Spider-Man drops below 50% max health, apply stealth to them. When enemy attacks a Web Warrior ally, attack that enemy for 250% damage. And we'll look at some footage later of some Doom raid footage. Yes, she is always retaliating, kind of like Call Obsidian. We just talked about him. She's whenever he retaliates, she's going to be doing a similar mechanic whenever an enemy attacks a Web Warrior ally. I think that's going to be fantastic. Next, we got to go over her special. Attack primary target for 160% damage and at a 60% crit chance. Now, natively, she has a 10% crit chance, but if you start putting ISO, you can get up to an extra 30% if you take her all the way to blue ISO 3. I believe in the footage here, we had her at blue ISO 1. That's why it's 35% on the Raider. And on crit, apply ability block, chain to 4 to 5 adjacent targets for 160% damage. Apply slow for 2 turns for each target. And apply assist now for 1 random Spider-Man Miles ally. And the developers are recommending either Raider on her, like you see right here. And the Raider is useful because then that'll make it, if you take her off the blue ISO 3, that'll make it 100%. Here in this footage, it was blue ISO 1. And so she had like a 95% chance. Let's go look at some footage inside of the raids just to see how it looks. And just show off some of her animations and everything. It's kind of a lot of fun. But they also suggest that Skirmisher might be a better option. And I'm curious to find out if there's going to be an opportunity for Skirmisher Striker combo on this team. So the developers are recommending Skirmisher or Raider. Then her ultimate web snare, and this is a little disappointing to me actually. Energy cost 3-6. Attack all enemies for 330% damage. Spread all negative effects from the primary target to all secondary targets. So that's like hella. However, it will not spread ability block. But I think the opportunity is going to be in spreading blind, because there's a way to get blind on her with her basic attack. You're going to be able to spread slows for sure. but this will not spread ability block, stun, and or trauma. Stun and trauma are not typically spreadable, but ability block has been spreadable, let's say on Hela or even on Deathpool or on Venom, right? But not on Spider Gwen. Go Spider, go Spider, go Spider. We gotta remember she's called Ghost Spider now, or at least that's what maybe she was always called Ghost Spider, and just Spider Gwen. This is what I always known her as. So that's okay. This is kind of interesting. Steal one evade from a primary target. Now, this ability also cannot be dodged. Doesn't say that here in the text, but if you read the kit in game when she actually comes in the game, this ability, her basic attack, can't be dodged. Attack primary target for 270% damage, gain evade, and in raids, if Spider-Man miles and allies into the primary target has slow, apply blind. So that's kind of interesting to put the blind up. And I think there's going to be slows everywhere, right? There's just going to be slows from this. There's going to be slows from Spider-Man. There's going to be slows from being spread. I just think that they're going to be everywhere. So the developers say the same thing. Great at creating openings for a team and dealing out damage off of her out of turn with her retaliate. She has great focus, making her having the ability to land negative effects very reliable. They said skirmisher or raider for ISO 8. Now, who does this character work best? Of course, in raids with the Web Warrior team. Maybe there'll be some use inside of Alliance Wars as well. Now, let's go to Spider-Man, and we're going to go over Spider-Man's stats first, because this is going to be probably first time that I can remember where he might be viable. Health is getting a boost by almost 70%, damage almost 25%. Armor 700%, focus by almost 20%, and resistance by 36%. Boy, all of those numbers are uneven. I wonder how they came to those numbers, or why they did 69, 24, 719, and 36. They must have tuned it for a very specific matchup or some sort of raid, be my guess. His biggest change is in his passive, and this is very important right here. In raids, when a negative effect is applied to an enemy, apply a random positive effect from his list to all Web Warrior allies. Defense up, offense up, speed up, and deflect. I saw that constantly on the Web Warriors when I was playing in Doom 2.0. They almost always had defense up, offense up, speed up, and a deflect. And a deflect is like a 100% block chance. He also is going to gain 5% extra speed, which is listed right here, so that he will be a little bit faster in addition to his stat boost. His basic attack now will always chain, and he will have a higher chance to gain evade inside of raids, 80% chance. His special now will have drain, and drain will allow him to heal up. And then they also changed his passive. So I used to read, I believe, that where either he or Miles dodged, fill speed bar by 10%, but now it applies to all Web Warriors. And as we read, Spider Gwen, she basically gave them all evasion on spawn. That's kind of a big deal. But the biggest thing, without a doubt, is in raids. The positive effects going on the team is going to be huge. Whenever a negative effect is applied to an enemy, apply a random positive effect, man, you're going to get all four very quickly. And I think that's going to make this team absolutely amazing. Let's go take a look at here. The stats are just going to roll on the screen. I'm going to let those roll for a second. Let's read what they said about the developer notes on him. Probably not a lot, but anyways, they don't have any developer notes on it. Let's go to Miles as soon as these stats roll past right here, and then we'll go look at the Miles stats, and then and his kit and his changes and his rework. There we go. Let's toggle over to Miles. All right. Miles gained 60% health, 72% more damage, which is huge. Increased his armor by 380%, focus by 18%, resistance by 28%. All right, the big changes to him is going to be on his passive. On self or Web Warrior ally dodge, apply speed up to that character. So they're going to spawn in with dodge. When they do dodge, or evasion rather, when they do evade, they're going to be getting 10% turn meter, and then they'll be getting speed up. Plus, whenever our negative effects are going out, they're going to have an opportunity to gain that also. So that it's an amazing that how that's going to work. That there's going to be speed up everywhere. Relatively mild on Miles Morales. I think it's going to be interesting. So again, to wrap up what I think of this team is, I think the jury is out. I really do. Like I think the jury's out on how it's going to play out. I'm fully expecting it to be a completely viable, better raid team than symbiotes. I just don't think they would introduce them to the game. That's my guess, right? But until we know what the other one or two, I'm going to lean towards two new characters coming to the game. I can't really say or not whether or not they're going to be amazing or not without reading their kits. And then, of course, even when I do read their kits, I'm not going to know for sure until I actually get to play the complete team. And then the point is this: is how well are your symbiotes doing right now? Is this going to be worth upgrading? Because right now I can get through Doom 2.3 on the bio. Where I really am struggling is on the tech nodes, not on the bio. So this is a little bit confusing to me because the bio, it seems to me in the boss node in Doom 1.1 was the real hard one. And now Doom 2.3, it actually seemed like it's not as hard. So I have to see how heavily I want to go into this team based on whether or not any of these new characters are going to be viable in Doom. Not in Doom, in Dark Dimension 5, right? I think for me, it's going to come down to whether or not they're viable in Dark Dimension 5. That'll be that. All right, let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.